Are you guys like doing this on purpose? Like, it just seems like you're putting up a bunch of like fake stuff on your website. Like, hey guys, how are you all doing? If you're new here, welcome. My name is Crazy Ken, and one thing I'd love to do on this tech channel is debunk knockoff tech and tech scams. And today is no different. I have received many requests to look into the Kardio smartwatch. And this is gonna be a good one. Pro tip, guys, in case the marketing department is watching. If you're gonna market this as a health gadget, I highly recommend not putting the word die in your name. So how good is this thing? Well, I'll take a look at that soon, but I usually like to dive into the company a bit more before we dive into the product itself, because I've seen some fishy stuff going on. So if you're ready, and I know you are, let's dive in. I was sent this screenshot of a Kardio ad, and wow, would you look at that? The watches they're using as their own product look exactly like Apple Watches. And that's because they are Apple Watches. The biggest giveaway is the edge-to-edge display. If you look carefully, you'll see the display is rounded on the corners. Cheap products do not do that. They're just traditional square displays. They're not rounded in the corners. So that's the biggest giveaway you can see there. I also love how they say we invest in high quality components, not fancy ads. Well, really? Well, guess what? You probably save a lot of money on your advertising because you're just using Apple's stuff. You're using their actual product and you're just stealing a bunch of other screenshots from them. Why? So sometimes when you look at these screenshots of Apple software, they'll manipulate them a little bit so the colors look different. Even on the box, they just shamelessly stole the Apple Watch home screen and printed it right on the box. Oh, don't worry. We're just getting started. This is a Kardio ad floating around YouTube. And if you needed a heaping pile of bullshit today, this is the best place to go.
How can something that costs less than $50 match the quality of something that's $300?
It can't.
So this was the watch she introduced me to. It's called Kardio.
This is some grade A false advertising here. This is an Apple Watch. Do not fall for their claims. I bought the Kardio, so you don't have to. And look, the real product looks nothing like what they show in the video. But if we compared the ad to my Apple Watch, they look the same.
The reviews online were pretty good, but we all know they can be fake, so...
Oh my gosh, the hypocrisy here just speaks for itself. I'm just gonna go punch a door.
I decided to do a side-by-side comparison to see how much of it is just hype.
Even when he claims it's a side-by-side comparison, it's still just two Apple Watches. Checkmate, Kardio, you're full of crap. Sadly, this is just the beginning. Now let's dive into their website. Their website has a terrible user experience. It's riddled with more false advertising and fake scarcity pop-ups and banners. I also received one of those spin to win gizmos when I went to the website. That stuff is just total crap. Sure, you might get a discount sometimes, but it's really just there to try to squeeze your contact info out of you. But everything else aside, the big claim on their website that really set me off was that they get better battery life with their watch compared to a $400 smartwatch. Now I kind of want to make some claims back at you. And what I mean by that is I'm going to dissect all of your crap and show consumers all of the lies you are spewing their direction. But also, I do want to thank you, Kardio. You actually saved me some time on one of these arguments because on your website, you do say you get 10 hours of battery life. That's not that impressive. That's not better than the Apple Watch at all. So you debunked your own thing. Congratulations. Oh, but wait, it gets even more confusing because your product video says 10 days. Days, hours, which is it? So despite how good the battery life actually is, that doesn't hide the fact that it's still a knockoff product. It can be very deceitful to people. People who don't know tech very well may get one thinking it's an Apple Watch because it looks like an Apple Watch. Let's dive into some more of the outrageous claims on this website. But before we get to that, I just want to say the charging method they show here, this is inductive charging a la Apple. This method looks a lot like how Apple's charger works, but that's not the type of charger you get with this product at all. The product you get is this cradle, completely different. So to start, Kardio claims to be the #1 selling watch of 2020. Yeah, sure. And they also claim to have been featured on websites like Gizmodo. Well, I ran a simple search and found nothing linking Gizmodo to Kardio with the Google machine. But when doing the search, I did find a Quora post asking if cardio is a scam. And I also love how they made fun of other look-alike watches. Oh, the irony is delicious. Every other look-alike smartwatch is cheap Chinese-made garbage. Made in China. Oops. Their website also claims this piece of junk has an OLED display. A lot of times terms like OLED or, HDR are kind of misused or just straight up abused, and it can trick consumers. Here's what OLED is. OLED stands for Organic Light Emitting Diode. Each pixel on an OLED display is individually lit, meaning if a pixel needs to display black, the light in that pixel turns off completely, meaning the black is really black. On an LCD, liquid crystal display, which is what you traditionally see, there is usually one backlight or multiple smaller backlights that shine through the pixels, which means black doesn't really show up as black, it shows up as really dark gray. So if you take this cheap watch and look at it, I can see the black doesn't look black, it looks like dark gray, especially if you go in a dark room or something, go in your bathroom, turn off all the lights, look at the screen. If nothing shows up black, just really dark gray, that means it's not an OLED display and you've been lied to. So don't worry, I'm gonna give these guys a call. I'm gonna ask them why they have so many outrageous claims on their website. I can't wait to hear what their excuses are gonna be. As I keep going through the website, I just keep seeing more stolen screenshots from Apple, more stolen screenshots, more. We haven't even hit my favorite part yet. My favorite part of the website is this product video.
Introducing Cardio. It tells time.
Yeah, thanks for that. Oh, it's IP68 rated? Oh, so I could swim with this, right? Well, we'll try that out later. GPS integration? Yeah, I don't think so. I navigated through the home screen like 1,000 times just to make sure I did not miss anything. There is not a single navigation app built into this thing. Maybe there's a third-party one, but what kind of $50 cheap product from a brand you've never heard of is actually gonna have features like GPS? So I don't think that's in there. There's no software to show that. And to make things even worse, they're just showing a screen recording of Apple's Maps software running on the watch. And at the end, they show a 3D rendering of the product, but it's not the smartwatch at all. It looks like an Apple Watch. The backside of it looks just like how an Apple Watch looks. It doesn't look anything like what you actually get when you buy it. So, more deceiving images. No matter what they advertise, I went ahead and bought one anyway. Hey, I know what I'm getting myself into. I hope. Like the other scam products I've covered on the show, the checkout process is riddled with fake scarcity timers, low stock warnings, and other cluttery clickbaity crap. Oh, and of course, we can't forget the upsells where they try to make you buy even more stuff during the checkout process. And I'll admit, I must not have been paying attention because I accidentally clicked the big green button when I was checking out, and I accidentally got upsold and bought Pulsar buds. These are frickin' AirPods knockoffs. Just be careful of that stuff. So finally, after all that stuff, the order was complete. And to Cardio's credit, it actually arrived really quick. I think it was under 2 weeks. So now we come to the product itself. What's it like? Well, I will say it is way better than the Max Watch. That was another knockoff I covered. Check out that episode if you haven't seen it yet. It was fun. And that watch was $50 as well. This, I would say, is like 2 to 3 times better than that for the same price. So let's have a look. To start, the charging method for the Cardio watch is much more convenient than Max Watch. You don't need to strip the band off to charge it. It just uses this little cradle. Also, it actually has a touchscreen which can handle basic swipes and taps. The Max Watch didn't even have a touchscreen at all. Everything was controlled through a touch-sensitive button. Super tedious. Also, it does have a side button for sleep and wake, and a crown which acts as a home button. Again, things the Max Watch didn't have. The crown also spins, but it doesn't do anything. The graphics look about the same as on the Max Watch, and they perform poorly, with lots of tearing and very low frame rates. But at least the display is a little bit cleaner looking. It's not as speckly as the Max Watch display. I was also amused by the watch faces. It looks like they really tried replicating some Apple Watch faces closely. The default face was actually set to the solar dial, which kind of threw me for a loop because that was the watch face I had set on my legit Apple Watch. Spooky. And the watch band feels much more comfortable and less rigid than the crummy Max Watch band. However, I could not find any way to snap the band in place. It just kind of feels like it holds itself in with friction. But it's cheap, so whatever. So in short, it's better than the Max Watch for the same price, but it's definitely no Apple Watch. Don't be deceived by it though, because it can look like one, depending on what ad you see. So overall, I still stick to my recommendation from earlier. If you want to get into smartwatches, just go on eBay, spend a little more money, and get an older used Apple Watch. Even though it's older, you're still going to get superior build quality and way more features than with a newer knockoff product. And I know because I have a first-gen Apple Watch, and it works great and has way more functionality than this newer $50 piece of junk. Now, let's get Cardio on the phone and see what they have to say about these ridiculous false advertising claims.
Hi, thank you for calling customer service. This is Jack. May I have your zip code, please? Or how can I help you today, Ken?
So it doesn't look anything like what's on the website. Do you have any idea why that's the case?
Okay, I understand that. I'm really sorry for the inconvenience caused you. Now, basically, as per the information provided to us, the watch, we are aware of the issue, and I've looked at the watch as well. It does seem to be a bit different from what is advertised because of visual representation and the use of graphical effects and things like that on the advertisement video. However, the watch does have all the features that are mentioned on the website. So from that side, you should be good to go.
Okay, well, the website says, like, for example, like the website says it has an OLED display, but I have it in my hand and like this is not an OLED display.
Just give me a moment, please. Let me just double check that. Because as per the information provided to us, this is supposed to be an LCD touchscreen, not an OLED display. Let me just double check this with the website so I can have this forwarded to the relevant team.
The other thing I saw, like there was this product video on the website, and the other thing I saw it mentioned was it had GPS integration, but there's no GPS functionality on this watch at all. There's not even a maps application. So why would the website say there's GPS integration if there's no actual GPS integration in the watch itself?
Again, Alex, I'm just going to the website again on this. Basically, initially, we did have a product with full GPS integration and a better screen on that as well. But because of some other technical issues, we did have to discontinue that, and the product itself was changed.
Are you guys like doing this on purpose? Like it just seems like you're putting up a bunch of like fake stuff on your website. Like
as for that, no. Basically, as I said, this is just something that needs to be updated on the website because yes, by advertising these features, you can get a lot of orders, but the website also offers a 60-day money-back guarantee.
But I had one more question. It does say it's IP68 rated, so I could swim with it, but I haven't tested that yet. So let's just say theoretically I swim with it and it breaks. Could I still return it if it's water damaged?
As for that, you can return it. However, on the manual of the watch, it is mentioned we do recommend the customers to avoid unnecessary water contact with it, actually.
If you're interested, I have a longer recording on my Patreon. The call went on for about 15 minutes, so if you want the full-length recording, go ahead and check that out. So it seems like there's a lot of contradictions going on here. I'm interested to see if their website actually gets updated or not with all the feedback they're forwarding to the marketing people. At least they were upfront about the money-back guarantee, so it's not like they were trying to keep my money. Okay, so now the IP68 waterproof test. It is weird that they claim you can swim with it, but according to the guy on the phone, the manual says you shouldn't. That's so dumb. Anyway, I dropped the Cardio into my bathtub and let it sit for about 10 minutes. I checked it a few minutes in just to make sure it was working, and it looked like it was. I let it sit in the water for a few more minutes, and then I tested it again. And it actually still functioned. But later, I did notice half of the screen looked dimmer after it was in the water. And after sitting overnight, I noticed the battery was suddenly dead and a bubble formed under the display. So, not waterproof at all.
Surprisingly, it's IP68 waterproof. So swimming or showering with it on did not fry the circuit.
So another knockoff product bites the dust. But ultimately, throughout these episodes, what I try to do is, well, one, I just hope you find them fun to watch, but two, I try to nurture your bullshit detectors. Hopefully, you can see these scams now and try to detect them a little bit more and protect yourself and protect your friends from all this knockoff stuff. Because marketing can be very deceitful. Marketing is the most powerful thing. It doesn't matter how good or bad the product is. It's the marketing that's going to sell it. And I'm not saying every product is bad. There's some good stuff out there from brands you've never heard of. But I'm just saying, if you see something that makes you go, wow, I must have this, or wow, I got to share this with a friend, and it's from a company you've never heard of before, just do some double checking before you hit that buy button. So thanks to all the awesome viewers who recommended this product. I loved looking into it. And coming up next, I have an iPhone 12 Pro Max clone that I'm going to take a look at, and a Wi-Fi booster that was created by a quantum physicist. This is going to be fun. So make sure you're subscribed and stay tuned for that. And there's other cool tech stuff coming soon too, so plenty of things for everybody. And if you have any other knockoff or scam tech suggestions for me, feel free to just tweet me at The Computer Clan, or you can send me a DM, that's cool too. And if you want to help fund the future of The Computer Clan, plus get some awesome perks along the way, feel free to pledge to my Patreon. Thanks in advance for your support. And hey, if you like this episode, you know what to do. Thanks for sticking with me, catch the crazy, and pass it on.